Rajah 2 by Cold Steel, and what I want to show is how to center the blade. In this video, a tip, a trick. As you can see, the blade is off to this side, and that's because basically the blade is warped. This is what the inside looks like. I already took off the screws, and as you can see, there's steel liners on each side, and so basically what you have is the blade is curved like this way. It's because the blade is quite long, so any kind of distortion is going to show. So what we want to do today is to modify the steel liner so that it's slightly off, and that what that'll do is that as you're clamping down on the screw, the pivot screw, it'll shift the blade to an angle which will make the point will end up being shifting from closer to one side, closer to the middle. And this is just for aesthetic value. I mean, unless you have like some kind of setting problems and touching the liner, this is just a trick to make the tip look like it's centered. And you're going to just very slightly bend. What you're going to end up doing is bending this and this part. So you grab it and you'll bend it to an angle, and the angle you want is, as it's facing like this way, you angle it this way, and that will shift the blade that way. I hope that makes sense. The blade is out. I just want you to see, I mean, if you bend, I'm going to bend this just ever so slightly. You bend it out. And you can just test it. You don't have to go so much, only a little bit. You don't have to bend over here. And if you change the angle of this, the way this sits, when you clamp down, the blade angle is going to be changed to whatever the steel liner is, whatever it's clamping down. So you want to do this and this also in the same direction, and that will force the blade to be this angle. And if the blade is curved this way, that tip will be shifted this way. It's ever so slightly, because the blade is so long that every very small little change is going to change the way it's going to be oriented. Okay, let me give it a try. Look at this ridiculous thing. It is so big, it almost doesn't fit on the camera. Okay, reassembled, and as you can see, the tip is centered as I possibly could get. In fact, it's even more, I think it's, yeah, it's actually a little bit more to this side. I think there's, you know, you're gonna have to experiment with this. My blade is curving this way, and I believe every Rajah 2 blade. I own 3 Rajah 2s, and I never got a straight sample. And I don't know if they actually exist, because I believe during the heat treat, the blade gets warped, which is fine. I mean, I guess that happens. If the blade is so long, it's just gonna happen. So I bent it, and actually I feel like it's maybe ever so slightly to the right now, where originally it's more closer to the left. It's almost like to the left liner, and it's purely aesthetic. So as you can imagine, let's see, from the liners are bent this way. From the very end, you're just bending it this way. So now when you're clamping it down, instead of being straight, it's slightly angled. And it will slightly angle the blade this way. Even though it's curving there, it's going to be okay. So yeah, I just want to put this video out there. This is how to straighten a Rajah 2. And I wanted to add that this centering actually holds. I found that it holds when you do, you can kind of like grab the blade, no, maybe you can force the blade straight and bend it like this, but in use it's actually gonna return back to its original state. But by bending the liners ever so slightly, just grabbing probably from this area when you're on the liner and just bending it just slightly, you're gonna have to experiment to find out how much, but it's not a lot. It's like just very gently bending it, you know. Of course you're doing this at your own risk, you know. I don't want you to damage it, and it's purely for OCD people because it doesn't really affect the durability of the knife. So yeah, this will actually, when you use it, it'll actually hold that centering. Okay, beastly knife, really great for field use actually. I know some people probably buy it for the novelty of it, but maybe, I don't know if anyone's EDCing this. You gotta be crazy to do it. But yeah, it's actually one of the best designs I think that's ever been created. And I honestly wish they went with it came with a G10 version with a CTS XHP blade, but now that they switch over to S35, I don't think we're ever gonna see that. So that's too bad because yeah, I think my only complaint would be the edge retention. Even the Gravity is okay, I think, but you know, of course G10 is better. So yeah, that's it. Enjoy.